Self-Publishing Podcast, episode number 37.
Welcome to the Self-Publishing Podcast, where if you want something done right, you've got to do it yourself. And now, here are your hosts, three goths who spend most of their time up in the trees, Johnny, Sean, and Dave.
Hey, everyone, and welcome to the Self-Publishing Podcast, the podcast that's all about how to get your words out into the world without contending with agents, publishers, or the other gatekeepers in traditional publishing. I'm Johnny B. Truant, and after our little holiday break, I have Sean Platt and David Wright with me back again, and just showing that keeping up momentum is an important thing. We were unable to start this show, reminiscent of really the first couple of shows, unable to do anything again. It was
spectacular.
By the way, I was listening to, because I forced my wife to listen to the Unicorn Western show that we did.
Oh, how sad for her.
Did she divorce you?
No, actually, she enjoyed it, and I kept sneaking looks over. I was just like, to see if she was laughing, and she was. She likes like the height of humor is people being kicked in the crotch or something like that. So she's real highbrow.
That wasn't laughter. That was tears.
I'm so sad. But I was. It made me go back and because I wanted to find the Fat Vampire discussion in Better Off Undead, and I ran out of podcasts over the break, so I was listening to old self-publishing podcasts, and I realized that we've lost a lot of our tropes. Like, we haven't talked about Goths and Trees, which is why I played that again. We haven't had Dean fucking Koontz on in forever.
Yeah, that's bullshit, that one right there.
And I did listen to the first show again, and I think it was Garrett who said that we sounded awkward. I thought we sounded pretty damn good for the first show. Like, the audio quality wasn't fantastic, but
I think we always sound awkward.
On our best day.
I feel awkward.
I have accumulated a mass of questions over our little break there, where by the way, we totally, listening back as a listener, it was really obvious how much we phoned it in last time. Because
was that the Unicorn Western episode?
Well, okay, so phoned it in and we're total and complete whores. Like, we did both of those things very, very well.
You did both of those things.
Right, me and Sean. Right.
I had no vested interest in your stupid unicorn story.
Right. And you weren't.
Oh, that's the best quote. I got to get that to David Master so he can put it in a press release. Wait, what was it again? I have no vested interest in your stupid unicorn story. David Wright. That's awesome.
And I think it's got to go, when we have a print edition, when we have 3 and we do a print edition, that's got to go on the dust jacket.
No, the dust jacket will say, go ahead, write a Western with no research. It'll probably have fucking unicorns. That's what that says.
See if we can go for 2 shows in a row of whoring ourselves.
Two weeks ago, we
did. We split the last one into 2, like Kill Bill, bitch.
We split it into 2, and they were half-hour shows. So first of all, they felt ridiculous because we were just like, okay, it's been a half hour, just get the fuck out of here. And second, Better Off Undead was unapologetically had nothing to do with any of our normal topics at all. It was just a continuation of the self-publishing podcast. And then we're like, fuck it, make it episode number 36. We'll just run it in 2 places. Oh, why does anyone listen?
Did you notice a drop in listeners on those
episodes? People keep subscribing. People keep giving us good reviews.
Wow. What's up? It must be gluttons for punishment.
Johnny's making it up so we just keep showing up. I think we have 3 listeners.
Yeah, right? We've never seen the stats.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be alone.
I keep sending you the stats with a boner, right? Like, didn't you say that you can just tell that I got wood when I'm sending the stats? Yay!
You say that in every email, though.
I do. Usually it's just like a PS. PS, I have a boner.
It's your email signature.
Right. So do you want to kick off our coming back with voicemail from Gareth?
Oh, hell yeah, we do.
All right. This has got a little tip of the hat to
ready?
Dave.
Ooh.
Here we go.
Greetings to Sean, Johnny, and of course, I always save the best to last, of course, Dave. And then, guys, it's me back again. Listen to your last few podcasts, really good. I love the idea of the funneling, which was good. Would love to hear you guys talk a little bit more about the creative side, but I know you guys have got to try and do it for me. Self-publishing point of view, not so much how to write view. But
I just want to pause at that point and say that I love talking about creative process, and I want to do it. I keep forcing us to come back to nuts and bolts.
How dare you interrupt him? Thank you. I had a groove going here.
I'm sorry. So I just, Gareth, we're taking that suggestion for sure. Like, don't worry about it. We will definitely talk.
Yeah, I
like
hate the business side of it.
Right.
Gareth is a man after my own heart.
Okay, here we go.
I would like you guys to perhaps talk a little about that. I think I've asked that before, but perhaps, bits and pieces. Anyway, I have an idea for you. I know you like to funnel, so I'm going to funnel something straight to you. And that's quite simply, why don't you guys do some little competitions? Now, I know you don't want to critique short story, critique people's work, but why not do like a competition where people will submit a very short story, and you guys can judge the best one and then give out a prize to some description, maybe a collection of free ebooks or something, which would be nice. Of course, you could advertise it on Google Plus and Facebook and Twitter. Yes, get the word out there. So go now. I am actually halfway through reading Fat Vampire 2.
Yeah,
I'm quite enjoying it actually. I'm definitely have to go and buy number 1. The only critique I have is the style. It's a very. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, and I don't want to get up Johnny's mouth. I love you too, Johnny. Don't worry. But it's just like a very sort of. I want to say blogging style of writing, very sort of sharp, to the point. Have to admit. So it's quite easy to read, but it just seems a little bit different to the usual books that I read. Of course, different authors have different styles, and of course we have to get used to them. But no, I'm really enjoying the story. The characterization is great. I do feel really sorry for this guy who's a fat zombie, not zombie, vampire.
I haven't listened to this before yet, by the way.
Werewolf overtones. Interesting. And yes, 50 Shades of Kindergarten. Don't go there, guys.
What? Obviously, you didn't listen.
About the children's erotic.
What?
Oh God, guys, don't go.
That's your
there,
other
please.
Podcast, Gareth.
There are some things in this world that you can never unsee or unhear, and that was one of them. Anyway, guys, I know you do it all in a good laugh anyway. So, hopefully if you get this, this is just before Christmas, so I don't know if you'll play this after Christmas, but, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, keep up the great work, guys, and hopefully we'll see some more from you very soon, which I believe we always do. And of course, if you do want me to perhaps use my vocal talents for the reading of Unicorn Western, I'll give it a bash. Send me a chapter, I'll read it out, send it to you, see what you think. Perhaps we could do it as a special thing for the podcast. Up to you. There are probably more professional readers and speakers out there, so, but I'll do it for shits and giggles, as it were. Okay, guys. Catch you all very, very soon. Ta-ta for now. And shout out to my big fan, Dave. You rock, dude. You rock. Bye for now.
Can you imagine Unicorn Western read by an English guy?
I think that's perfect, actually. And by the way,
that's what I said a couple weeks ago.
Which of you two bitches is going to call dibs on 50 Shades of Kindergarten?
When was that? Where is that reference?
We had made a throwaway joke about children's erotica market.
Oh.
He ran with it.
Oh, but that was just like one quick joking mention.
Well, apparently he loved it.
and named it.
Yeah, he's thinking of titles.
This isn't the first time you've brought us an idea, Garrett. Go ahead, you got to run with it.
I have a sneaky suspicion that he's not even British.
He's from Alabama, dude.
It's a local dialect. Yeah, I didn't listen to that question ahead of time because I'm like, well, it's a Gareth question. Like, I know I'll like it.
That'd be great if he just railed on us.
It's probably what he's going to start doing. He's going to start doing that thing like in, do you remember in Fight Club? Did you guys read the book?
Yeah.
Fight Club,
No.
where
There was a book?
The book is way better than the movie.
The
book is
sweet. No, I didn't read it.
Wait, Johnny, do you like the movie?
I think it's okay, but after reading the book, it's nothing.
Oh, wow. I love that movie.
Yeah, it's because so much of it is his voice, and you can't get voice into the movie, and that's what I liked about it so much.
Yeah, but David Fincher has voice. I mean, it's a different product, but the movie kicks ass.
And maybe that's like...
Brad Pitt.
You know what this is? This is like what you, Sean, said about The Shining.
Oh.
Whereas
okay.
I said the exact same thing. I said, well, it's Kubrick's Shining, and you said, but it's not Stephen King's Shining.
Yeah, no, that's true. I concede. Yeah, that's cool.
Same debate. But anyway, Tyler Durden at one point is taking stills from porn movies and splicing them into regular movies. So it's just basically the same thing. Like Gareth could just put whatever he wanted in one of those and wouldn't even zoom right by. We're on autopilot.
Subliminal messages.
All right, I got another one here from Stefanovich. Garrett's aren't really questions, so we don't really need to answer anything. Just there you go.
They're
And
like English, like it's like tea and high fives.
Yes. All right, so here's one from Stefanovich.
Hey guys, it's Stefanovich again. It's for the self-publishing podcast, and I'm so happy that the Mayan apocalypse didn't destroy your podcast. Woo! And also, I wanted to comment, love the subscription model idea. I'm actually looking into that as well. And thank you. You guys are going to make me cry. I love Unicorn Western, and I haven't even read it.
Yay!
But I'm already a fan, and I'm going to be crushed if it isn't huge. But anyway, this really actually isn't a question, but more maybe a clarification for fellow listeners of what I think you guys are talking about funnels, because it sounds like this huge mysterious thing, but I think I've figured it out. A funnel is the point of entry of your reader. It can be a blog, a book, a speech you made, shaking their hand, whatever. And funnels are specific to genre. So you can have a funnel, 3 or 4 different funnels, because you don't want to mix your erotica porn unicorn novel with the necromancing romance.
That's why we're not mixing those.
So everything you do is part of that funnel, specific to genre, even emails, because sometimes you get people that forward your stuff saying to their friends, hey, you might like this. So you're talking about funnels, but for those that are struggling to understand, like myself, it might get a little confusing as to what the top and what the bottom is. And Sean, you talked about the
Dave's the
Dave
top.
has that problem all the time.
And the fly-by-night as the top funnel, but I'm not exactly sure what's in between. And so I'm getting to understand that funnels are more like the latest sucking hole bringing in the reader. Or maybe I'm completely wrong. Let me know. Thanks.
So I just like to point out that all 3 of us at exactly the same time laughed when she said something about not knowing which was the top and which was the bottom. That's really sad.
And the hole. Her voicemail is full of innuendo.
Well, the sucking holes one is a really, like, I think anyone would laugh at that. But come on, man. She said, what's the top and what's the bottom? And all 3 of us were like, oh, well, they're talking about Dave and Sean having gay sex.
Delicious gay sex.
I think I told you guys that I was on a forum once and somebody made an ATM reference and I laughed at it and then felt really bad. It's like, why am I the only person? Why do I think that's funny? Why do I get that?
Because you're on like a children's forum, like highlights for kids or something.
See, you just upset Gareth's day again.
You gonna answer a question, funnel guys?
Or made it.
Well,
I thought that was.
It was a good summary, right?
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say.
I thought
that's a good summary.
Really well articulated. I think it may be taken, and I think funnel actually. I didn't even realize this because I never thought of it as a difficult concept until we're getting a lot of questions around it. But you just picture a funnel like that. It's that simple. And she said the point of entry I think is perfect. I think she may be taking it a tiny bit too far where you're saying shaking someone's hand.
Abducting them in a van.
Chloroform. I totally get where she's coming from. So I get my
readers.
I totally get where she's coming from, but I think it's really where they're introduced with your product line. So if your product line is yourself, then yes, that's true. But for me, I wouldn't. I meet people all the time. I don't think that necessarily that first introduction is the entry point to a funnel, but the first time they read a story is, or the first time that they visit my website and download something is.
You have to think in terms of the same thing you do with a funnel or like a sifter almost, is pouring as much stuff as you can in the top. And this is going to, I think, come out a little bit later because the topic we're going to talk about today is using KDP Select to drive sales. And that's very much a funnel issue because if you're giving away free stuff, the reason you're doing that is, I mean, if you're doing it, because when we talked to Ed Robertson way back in episode 6, he was talking about what used to be the post-free bump, which used to be much more prominent.
Yeah.
So in Amazon's algorithm, it used to be that if you sold a bunch of stuff free, if you had a bunch of free downloads and you had enough of them, then you would hang around on the popularity lists after the free was over, and then you would sell a bunch of stuff because people would see you up there. And then that stopped happening quite as much. And you can go listen to episode 6 to.
It's a really interesting episode, and I think almost all of it still holds true now. 6 months later?
I think so, because he was talking about it. We got to have him back on.
Yeah, he was ahead of his time, so it'd be great to have him. Again. We
should. But what I was going to say is the reason to do them now is, so basically with that model, if you had one book. And actually, I got an email. I think I can say this because I'm not going to divulge anything. From David Kazi, I think is his name. He was the guy who wrote that how KDP Select saved my book. Do you remember that post? Did it? I assume that we all saw that. It was like a while ago, and he had a book, and it went on KDP Select, and he sold a ton, and it got up to in the 30s on the bestseller list.
Yeah.
And that was one book, and. But I realized I went to his site and I'm like, I think he just has the one book. And that's different from what we're talking about now, which is KDP Select as it's structured right now doesn't look like it can really, quote unquote, save one book. It's more that if you have a series, you do one for free and then you're getting people in your funnel.
Yeah, it really works for multiples. It really works for authors who have, because you're not going to get that same visibility for. What made it work the first time was that Amazon treated sales. They didn't differentiate between sales and downloads. So a download was a sale. And what Ed was saying, which was really cool, was that Amazon was no longer treating a sale and a free download the same. But not only that, they were differentiating within price. So a 99-cent download didn't have the same value as a $2.99 download.
And his brain trust had hacked that, like they had numbers. I mean, they weren't firm numbers, but they were like, oh, we think it's about 1/10 as much. I mean, it was crazy. We got to have him back on.
But it was fascinating, like really, really fascinating stuff. And if you're in the business of, there's a difference between writing books and selling books, right? So if you're in the business of selling books, stuff like that is just essential to know.
The question of funnels. This is a bit of a diversion, but I don't know why I bother saying it's a diversion because this is the self-publishing podcast. What do you guys think? I mean, do you mind if I just ask you an advice question that doesn't have anything to do with KDP?
Is it about like clothing and stuff?
It's a personal.
I'm like a fashion.
Sparkles are always best.
Do you think that I should start wearing hats?
It's working for Dave, kind of.
Dave put on that hat between attempts at the hangout. So we had to restart the hangout, and Dave showed back up with a hat.
I'm going through an awkward hair phase.
So here's the question. So I have a pretty good size email list. Oh, there it is again. Predictable. I have a pretty good size email list. But it's one that I built with johnnybtruant.com, so it was largely like a business motivation, or like entrepreneurship style list at the beginning, marketing, whatever. And then more and more recently, I've been doing sort of what I consider to be like human potential stuff, like the How to Be Legendary manifesto I wrote and all that. But none of that has anything to do with fiction, obviously. So what I've been doing, since it's a pretty big list, is when I've had promos and I've wanted to hit like what I would normally hit a list, I've just been sending them stuff. And it's not a good match, but it does drive people to it. And I'm trying to figure out what the hell I should do. Do you think I should like start a separate list? Should I just keep sending because I'm not going back to the stuff I used to do.
You know what, dude? This is the exact same conversation I've been having both with myself and Danny a lot lately. And I'm in the exact same spot. Exactly. And what I've decided to do is not care.
That's how I resolve most of life's issues.
No, you guys, this is the best quote. I love this quote.
Is it about your stupid fucking unicorn story?
No, it's stress is caused by giving a fuck. And I so agree with that. So with the list that I have now, it's primarily made up of writers. And
You're talking about the Sean list, not the Inkwell list.
Yeah, this is a Sean M. Platt list. And I love you all listening, but writers are a terrible market.
Y'all suck, man.
They just are. If you're like I want to help writers to help writers. Like I love doing this podcast. That's really fun. But trying to sell writers books on writing and stuff like that, that's just like, I mean, I'd really rather wash my face with glass. That would be more fun and more rewarding because I'd have like something to show for it when I'm done. Anyway, this list is it's a pretty decent size, and I keep wondering what to do with it. And we keep coming back to basically the same thing. I want to start grooming readers, not writers. And that even if I take a huge loss on what I already have, like I'm okay with that. The list needs to be what it is. So you either have two choices. You can start segmenting that list, but I only see value in segmenting the list if you plan on
being a writer,
continuing with the stuff you used to do.
Yes, and if you're not,
which I'm not.
Okay, so here's what I would do if I were you, and what I am doing, actually. I just have to make time to be intelligent about it. But what I am doing is saying that list is now for Sean Platt. It's people who are interested in me as a writer. So they'll get stuff. When I have freebies from the Inkwell, they'll get that. If Unicorn Western is on sale, they'll get that. Or for free, they'll get that. I will have the occasional writing book, but also have children's stuff and whatever I'm writing. It's me as a writer, and that I'm going to be Sean Platt for the rest of my life. So I may as well start building that list. You've already got your name, Johnny Truant. I'd keep that list and just start getting rid of it. I mean, I'm a big believer in cleaning lists. So
when
if someone has
get rid of it, you mean emailing them what you want to email them, and they'll either leave or not. Is that what you mean?
Yes, and I also am a big believer in scrubbing your lists. So I think that really helps with open rates and just like being a good guy. So if somebody hasn't opened an email in 6 months, just get them off the list. Like actually take the time to physically
list for you.
Yeah, remove them off of the list so your list stays super engaged and active, and your open rates are high. That means AWeber's going to love you that much more. Your deliverability will stay high. Like, go ahead and keep promoting to the list as if all those people are there because they love Johnny B. Truant, the writer. And then over time, maybe once a quarter, go in and scrub the list.
I do have a little bit of segmentation because I am still doing the legendary stuff, but as far as like entrepreneurial writing, as far as info products and courses and teaching people how to do business, I'm not doing any of that. And I don't have any plans for it.
Hallelujah.
I would keep the list.
Dave's happy.
I would keep the list, but scrub it regularly.
Okay. Because what I thought about doing was sending an email and saying, here are 2 new lists you can join or something.
I wouldn't do that. I've done that twice.
I decided
this year.
not to do that.
Yeah.
Just send a list saying you're invited to leave if you don't want this.
Yeah, actually, I know Dave's kidding, but I think that's a great idea.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding at all.
Yeah,
Say it
and
nicely, of course.
I think you should encourage unsubscribes, but not all at once. Okay, because
start with ethnic jokes.
Then AWeber will think you did something wrong. So that's not what you want to do. But you don't want 1,000 unsubscribes on the same day. That means that you fucked up. So that's the bad campaign to run.
Erotica by Johnny Truant.
But what I would do, Johnny, is to put like a PS on your every time you're sending something like super specific to writing, just put a PS on there. Look, I'm really sorry if you're on this list from a long time ago when I was doing something different. There's an unsubscribe button right below here, and if you could use that to unsubscribe, that'd be awesome. And what that'll do is cut down on the people who flag you for spam because they're assholes, or not even being assholes. They're just like, well, this isn't what I really signed up for. Spam. Like, you'll really eliminate that, and you want to because you want to keep your open rates high.
Yeah, I because I've always said the whole thing about it's better to have an engaged list than a large list that doesn't really care one way or the other. And we've talked about that on this show, but it still is like when you're faced with it. And I have the existing list, and I thought it was an engaged list, and it is for like a marketing style list. It is engaged, but with the secret project that I we aren't talking about, that we're working on sort of, like the open rates are much, much higher. And so when you see that and it's like smaller list, much higher open rates, that's much more satisfying, even though it's many, many, many times larger of a list.
Dude,
I'd rather have
I
that.
would take a small engaged list 100% of the time.
And a tiny engaged list. I mean, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Forget about small. Like I would take a minuscule list for books.
Yeah, I would
Five
too.
people.
I would too. Those are the people who will look. You want a list of people who are going to do things like leave reviews, you know. And I haven't. The Sean Platt list is actually larger than the Inkwell list, only by a tiny bit. But it's not filled with readers. It's filled with writers. There are some readers there, but I want readers at this point. I want readers who love me and Dave and or me, and be able to groom that, because readers like.
I want readers that love me but not Dave.
No, that wouldn't be good. I don't want that. Then it'll be like another Inkwell offer. Fuck that guy. No, I just think that I want to make my money from readers, and I don't want to make my money from writers. So to have writers on a list is at cross purposes, which I think is exactly the same problem that you have.
I also think there's something cool, and I was actually having this conversation with another writer just 2 days ago, actually, who markets to writers, and he's kind of feeling the same way regarding marketing to writers. Like maybe it was a mistake, but I said if you give it away like we're doing, I think there's a lot of value there, rather than just building the market because it's there and exploiting the hell out of it. That leaves me feeling negative when I see writers doing that, writing the same thing over and over, writing dubious advice on how to get rich on Kindle. Giving it away?
Yeah, because
there's
there
nothing
are
wrong.
no writers who are getting rich on Kindle who are also writing about it. That person does not exist.
Except maybe John Locke, but he writes other stuff too. He wrote about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But basically, I don't think it's horrible to market to writers. As long
Okay,
as you're
let
not
me
expecting
clarify.
them to make their
Writing
income on
honest
them.
books.
Yeah. Okay. Do we have any more questions?
We have one
Yep.
from a Garrett.
Well, I have one from Garrett too that was going to kick off the topic for the day. Do you want to
would you
go ahead? We'll go ahead and ask the press release question because that's a short one.
Yeah, that's it. Would you guys discuss how you use press releases in the new year on some episode? I hear you mention them often in the podcast, but I'd love to know more specifics. What site you use, how you compose them, how they fit in your marketing strategy, what kind of author they're right and wrong for, etc. I'd love to know more. Thanks. Okay, I can give a lot of press release advice, and it's good advice, but I don't follow it myself. So that's only a time issue.
Wait, can I be Dave for a second? You should sell that for $97.
We could put out a press release package and be assholes. No, the press release thing, it's really truly not for every author. It is totally for something like what Dave and I have going on, because we're always putting out product and the product relates to one another. We have an established brand like Kings of the Cereal, and we're putting that out. Now, here's the right way to use press releases. Press releases are really hard to get direct attention for. They're really, really good for search engine optimization. So if you want to, like, let's say you're writing a nonfiction. Press releases are totally great for nonfiction writers, way, way more so than fiction writers. So let's say you write a book about like how to silkscreen T-shirts, right? And you wrote that book. You can own those keywords, how to silkscreen T-shirts. That wouldn't be too difficult to get with press releases. So you would just write press releases every day linking to your book under those keywords, and you would own the term pretty quickly. Biggest problem with press releases is they're expensive. If you get crappy press releases, I think, Dave, do you need to say something?
No.
Okay.
You said that like maybe he needed to go to the bathroom. Dave, do you need to go wee-wee?
Crappy press releases are super cheap. There's even free distribution, but they're almost worthless. In fact, they're worse than worthless because they take your time and don't give you anything back. So a good press release from PR Web is a couple $100, and that's what we use. We don't pay a couple $100 because we bought an entire year's worth at once, and you get a substantial break for doing that. Now, if we had time, the way we would structure our press releases is every single day, because for a fiction writer, you actually can get attention if you just become a normal part of the news cycle and you tie yourself into current events. So one of the press releases that we put out this week is just like trying to piggyback off of news. It just says Sean M. Platt, successful Kindle author, predicts that there's going to be a free Kindle this year. And there's a story about that. Because I do believe that Kindle's going to have it's a razor blade model. They want to give you the razor, so you have to buy the blades. Like, they're not making money on the Kindle now. It's already sold, at cost. It makes sense to me that they're going to give Kindles away to Prime members for free, because they want you downloading content. So I really believe that will happen this year. And David Masters, who writes our press releases, wrote a press release around it. So what that does is it ties my name with the idea of successful author, which I want out there. And it positions me as an authority of somebody who knows what's going on in Kindle. Now, if I just wrote one book that's like, I don't know, a vampire novel or something, that's a total absolute waste of money to get $200 to put that message out there. And I didn't spend $200, by the way. But what it does over a long, sustained period of time is it really builds your reputation. And if Dave and I wrote a press release every day about being the AMC or HBO of Kindle, then that would be a really smart thing to do. But we'd have to sustain the writing and the posting, and it takes a lot of time, and we're writing books instead. But it is a great way to build a brand. And the very, very best strategy for press releases is to link them together. And again, we don't do this, but this is absolutely the best thing to do.
I have an idea for a press release. Authors give up writing for 6 months to focus solely on press releases.
So linking them together. And what's really funny is this particular press release strategy is so suited to us, and its nickname is the serialization strategy, which is kind of hysterical. But what you do is you write one press release and then refer to that press release in your next press release, and you do that 3 times in a row, 3 days in a row. And it has a definite SEO trigger, but it also has an attention getting trigger. And I know a lot of people who it's worked really well for. But again, it's expensive. So most press releases are not for most authors. If you have a nonfiction title that you think can generate a lot of sales, that's a good match. And if you're trying to build a brand, it's a good match. At some point this year, Dave and I really should have a sustained daily press release strategy.
So you're sure that those are actually? By the way, I know I'm realizing that I haven't sent you press releases in a while. Oops, sorry, I need to get on that. But that said, I mean, are you really pretty sure that those are actually doing something? I mean, I hate to throw why can't I be the skeptic? Shit.
I'm not entirely positive that they're worth the spin.
It has to be sustained.
Sometimes I feel like a douchebag writing press releases about ourselves.
Well, that's the point, dude. We shouldn't be writing them about ourselves. You have somebody who knows who you are and what you do, and they write the press releases. And I think our press releases have gotten a lot better since we've stepped out of it. And we've had.
But Dave's objection is a self-patting on the back thing, not about time efficiency, right? I mean, it's not that you're like, oh, I'm annoyed that I'm spending the time. It's like you feel like you're praising yourself,
right?
But that's something anybody who's going to be. I mean, you got to do shameless self-promotion, in my opinion.
But he is right. I mean, for me, I have a really hard time with that. I do, but it's much easier to hire somebody. Yeah,
fuck him,
I totally do. I'm a good marketer when I get to be a ghost. When I have to do it for myself, it is much more difficult for me. And but that's why I know my weaknesses. So we brought in somebody to write a couple press releases, but it's still not a sustained effort. I know on an SEO level, it works like just wow. I mean, my only existing client in the last year is an SEO client, and I've gone after some of the toughest to nab keywords in the entire world, and I've gotten them, and that's been my strategy.
Yeah, bitches, yo.
All right. Well, let's get to KDP Select because I have some questions about this, and we'll kick it off with actually another Garrett question. By the way, Garrett, if you're listening, which of course you are, we were praising you earlier because dude's like gotten like 3 books out.
Yeah,
in
he's
a
got
half
3
hour,
books out. Boom, boom, boom.
and
That's
he's been
awesome.
sending us like typo corrections on all of our stuff. All
And
of it.
coincidentally, Dave and I have released nothing in that time.
And that the
I think these
funny,
people are like vampires, man. They're sucking our energy.
the funny thing is that it's. I mean, I'm even impressed by finding the typos because he's found them in like 3 distinct works. So he's reading like a motherfucker. It's not like he's reading one thing and like here's some
That's
typos.
true.
It's like
That's
Unicorn
totally
Western and Dark Crossings and I don't know. But anyway, so let's. I'm just going to play Garrett's question because it ties into the whole topic, and I have some more. I have some more advice to ask for myself too. So let's just play this.
Hey guys, it's Garrett. So I published Touch a couple days ago, as I told you guys, and I went KDP Select, and I made it free this weekend for the.
Now, I just want to say that I think he has Touch 2 and Touch 3 available now. So since he's left this voicemail, I think he's published 2 more.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so he made it.
spectacular.
And it's not
Good
free
job,
right
Garrett.
now, probably.
Right, exactly. It's not free right now, but he did make it free. So here's the rest.
And
of
it's not erotica, despite the name.
Opening weekend. Now I'm following up with Touch 2 and probably Touch 3, and I wanted a little bit more in-depth explanation of how you guys use KDP Select and the free promotion. So Touch is going to be free this weekend, and then when Touch 2 comes out, I'm thinking of making it free for opening weekend as well. Do you then also would you also make your first episode free so that they can get them both, or do you make it free and then encourage them to buy episode 1? And same thing when 3 comes out. When 3 comes out, do I make them all free for a weekend, or do I make it free for a weekend, encouraging people to buy the first 2? That sort of thing. Just I know you've talked about it before, but I didn't really get an in-depth explanation of how you guys manage Yesterday's Gone or Fat Vampire when they come out. Actually, I don't even know if you did KDP Select on Fat Vampire.
I did.
Thanks, guys. That's my question. Love your podcast. Listen to you guys all the time. Almost caught up on all the back episodes, and you've got a lifetime listener. Talk to you later. Bye.
I think giving away multiple episodes at once is a bad idea because it kind of is like bargain basement sort of thing. I know when I see books by authors, like multiple books at one time free, I'm thinking, crap. It's just a mental thing with me, and I'm guessing other readers. To give away another book in a series, though, say you give away number 2, people that get it might be inspired to go get number 1 or number 3. But if
We've all seen that.
If you buy a whole bunch of stuff at once, though, I think it's free. I think there's less perceived value there.
Yeah, I think you have a really big chance, actually, to Dave's point, of just ending up on their Kindle and not even getting read.
Yeah, they might download you, but they might not read you.
Isn't that what Conrath did, though, when he had his $100,000 first several days of 2012? Wasn't that he made like almost everything free?
Well, he was already known, though, so I think it's a bit different with him.
Well, he was already free, but that was also in the pre-days before the changeover, and so all that free carried over.
So you think that he was benefiting from the... yeah, because that's true, because it happened in March, the change of the algorithm. So he might have been
just had all those
free.
populated pages. I mean, all those views and purchases, that's hundreds of thousands of pages. So I think that's what drove his sales. I don't think it was having everything free at once. I think Dave's point is excellent. I think one at a time is absolutely the way to go. We had the most success as far as overall dollars with when we put 3 on sale, because it was 3. People did go out and buy 1 and 2 on the same
Season
day.
3 of Yesterday's Gone.
Season 3 of Yesterday's Gone. People bought 1 and 2, and that's what, $8 profit for every person who decides to make that purchase. So that was a good week. We had a different sort of success when we did 2. We definitely had a kick up of 1. Not nearly as many 3s because people just aren't that eager, right? So they got the 1 and the 2. But
plus we'd already given 3 away, so we already hit a lot of those free seekers.
Wasn't it depressing when after a day nobody had bought season 2 when they got season 1 for free? Wasn't that depressing?
I was on the edge of a windowsill looking down 50 stories.
Number 2, when we put number 2 on free, it actually did really well, better than 3, but we didn't have the same purchases. But it was the highest we ever placed on free until we made 1 free, which was definitely our most successful promotion. Not with immediate follow-ups at all. Like, they trickled in. But after it was not free anymore, it had downloaded enough. I think we were 26,000 frees.
I don't remember.
Was that a Pixel of Ink event?
It was Pixel of Ink.
Pixel of Ink picked up on all of the seasons, I think.
Yeah, it was the right place at the right time. We actually we just got too busy, so we never ran follow-up campaigns on either of those. One we ran for 2 days, and one we ran for 3 days. Hoping to circle back later, but we didn't. But we'll be running campaigns on all 3 seasons soon, and we'll report what happens.
I sent an email to these guys a little while ago, and I said, this is my exact quote, whose dick do you have to suck to get Pixel of Ink to pick you up? Now, I realize that there's... yes, you did, because
you answered it.
Okay, I thought it was today. Okay.
You guys both responded with very, like, oh, Johnny's being impetuous, he's being impatient. By the way, I am impatient.
Yeah, dude, you have to be patient. There's so
many.
There
it is. I know I have to be patient. But
I don't want to be patient.
But impatience, this is just for anybody out there, like, if you're impatient, that's actually a good thing. I think it's good that I'm impatient because it beats despair.
I love when my 5-year-old is impatient. Oh, it's such a great thing.
It's just like me being impatient. I guess what I'm saying is impatience says, you know things are working, you know they will work, and they're just not working yet.
Yes. I agree.
As opposed to things aren't working at all, and you never know how they ever can. But I do wonder,
because I wake up most days.
Because you guys do have several Pixel of Ink hits. They picked me up once randomly for the Bialy Pimps, which helped me not at all. It's just out of the blue. I got a shitload of downloads. I didn't have any funnel, and I didn't get any post sales. Exactly, I didn't get any post sales either.
So you're waiting for them to pick up Fat Vampire.
I want him to pick up Fat Vampire. And do you think there's any point in submitting? I mean, like, how would you try to maximize a promo like you guys did before and submit to different sites?
Use that site. I would definitely use that site, because I think some of these free sites might even look at what the other free sites are carrying and say, hey, I don't have that one, and that one's pretty highly ranked. I better add that to my later posting during the day. That's just a guess. I don't know.
How many did you submit to in that?
I think, I don't know, maybe 20 or so. Maybe a little more.
How involved was it? Did it take forever to do it?
It took a few hours, yeah. But there is that one site I told you about where you could just do it, and that might take, I don't know, an hour and a half.
Oh, I thought when you said that site, I assumed you meant that link that I think it was in the comments of episode 35 or 36 that I said that I emailed you and got it, where it was like the list of them. But you're saying there's one multi-submission site?
Well, yeah, that Author Marketing Club, I think they have the page where you could just... It has an iframe window where basically they load up all the different submission sites. But we also submitted to some outside of those as well that we had found independently. But that page was probably the best bang for the buck as far as time to go through that list and do that.
Well, so let me ask you, KDP Select free promos. I'll give you my specific example. What would you do in this case? I just published Fat Vampire 3, so that's out now. And I have done I did a promo for 2, and I saw exactly what you guys were describing, where people bought 1 immediately, which is nice. It's really nice to be able to see driving sales. Mm-hmm. And a handful of people then bought 2 in the following days, which was great too. So I got both of them. And then a while later, after Christmas, the same day we made Unicorn Western free, I made Fat Vampire 1 free again because I had extra days. And I saw the same thing, but it was delayed. So basically exactly what is predicted. Now here's my question. Fat Vampire 3 is now out. If I do a promo on that, I mean, I have promo days on all of them because Fat Vampire 1 just recycled. So I have 5 days on that. I have like 3 days on 2, and I have all 5 days on 3. Should I make any of those free again? Should I make 3 free and blast that out?
I would make 3.
Are you packaging the first 3 books or no?
I've gone back and forth on that because when I asked you that question, I got sort of conflicting answers and sort of tossed up my hand and said it didn't matter. Because remember, I don't have.
Do 3 make a complete season or story, or are there more?
No, there will be more.
No, but your model's slightly different, Johnny. I would take 3 at $2.99 and make it $4.99.
But the only reason to do that is so that I can put that on the description page before people buy it, and say instead of buying 1, I'll buy the package.
Yes, because I think you will have that buyer. And I think your objection to it, unless I'm remembering wrong, was that you didn't want to lose out that much of the sale. You're counting on people.
There is that concern, but that's not my main concern. My main concern is if somebody gets, say, Fat Vampire 1 for free, it isn't a logical funnel move to send them to the package because the deal isn't big enough. They got 1 for free. They're saving $1 if they buy 2 and 3, but it's not like a gonzo deal.
Yeah, but it doesn't need to be. It gives you one more product to have. There are some people who will never, ever, ever read Fat Vampire for $9, but will for $5. Those 3 books, they will. And so
$9?
Yes, because if they're buying 1, 2, and 3 all at $2.99, they're spending $9. But if they could get that same amount of story for $5,
even if they got 1 for free. So
see, here's the thing. I would do right now. I would do 3 for free, and then once you have a full package out, I would use the 1 to lure them to the full package. Because if they're getting that free, they won't see it as just a few dollars saved. They'll see it. Well, I got this one free, but I can get the whole thing for. I think anyway.
Well,
and I think there's an added benefit of adding the URL in the product page going back to that free. So like all your things are pointing to one page.
Right. So what I figured is if I make a 1 to 3 bundle, then in the product descriptions for the singles for 1, 2, and 3, I can put a link and say this title is also available in this 3-pack here. But what you're saying is go ahead and make it as the logical follow-up, the call to action at the end of the books, and then do a free promo so that they can go back and buy it for $5 instead of $6.
You could add a bonus to the season pack.
Yeah, I'm not looking for more work. I have enough. So I don't want to write something else unless it's a bonus.
I don't care about the readers that much.
Well, I do care about the readers, but God damn it, this is an objection that I have just sort of on principle is a book is fucking $3 now.
Yeah.
Like I as an artist, I have a little bit of a problem with the idea that people would balk at that. But I understand. But I don't think it's a fuck the readers thing. I think it's like.
I do think I think the season thing. We do it on all our books, so it's just a different.
You do
mindset.
it differently though. You do it with 99 cents, which is a 35-cent commission.
What we do is but I'm not talking about. I'm talking about like a bonus thing. But we do it like at the end, like episode 6. We'll have like interview with us, or we'll talk about something, author's notes or something. We like to give the reader something at the end of each season to kind of, something that they can enjoy. Because I know I like reading that from like Stephen King, Clive Barker, when they write stuff. So we like to add that to but it would also be in the episode. It would be episode 6 and the full season at the end. But if you're not doing that already, then...
Yeah, I mean, if I had something exist, it's a bandwidth issue. I have so many things I could do. What do I do? But
that's the hardest question.
Well, okay, so here's another question then. I mean, I can, based on what we were saying earlier about the list, if I do a promo for 3, I can email that to my list and say, hey, get 3 free.
Yeah.
So 2 questions about that, and I think I know the answer to the first. Number 1 is, with your list, are you training people to wait and never buy anything for cash? That's number 1.
Yes, but that's okay. The way I look at my list, I'm not expecting to make money off of them. I'm expecting them to, this is the core of the issue with the writers. Okay, so I'll get to that. I don't want to make money off of my list. I want to make friends with my list. I want those to be my evangelists and my supporters. And there's people on there who, I'll name check Betsy Talbot, who she's awesome. Like she's been on I think every list. But if I send something out there, there's a good chance that she's going to read and review it. And I really appreciate that. And the work that I did with writers earlier in the year, I would have kept that up because I never wanted to make money off of that list. I wanted to make fans and supporters. But writers, you know, like, and maybe I'll sound like a dick for saying this, but writers can be pretty selfish. And, you know, and I understand it. They're more worried about getting their own shit done than reading somebody else's shit and reviewing somebody else's shit. And I get all that.
That sounds like all three of us.
Yes.
Yeah, it's true. I'm part of the problem, but I saw the problem, I identified it, and I moved away from it. And now, you know, I want it to be more reader centric. But having said that, I don't expect to make money off of my readers. And Dave and I have gone, you know, back and forth on this one a little too, and it's one of the reasons I want to do the reader-centric Sean list, because I want to communicate with my list a little bit differently than we communicate at the Inkwell. To me, I think a list should be about giving them free shit and making them excited. You're always going to have some fans who will buy it no matter what. You will. Those people they have the money, they want to support you. I have those readers. I offer them free books and they say, no, I want to buy it. That's important to me. And I get that because that's how I am. I would always rather pay for something than have it free. It's how I'm wired. And so you're always going to have your buyers. But what you really want from your list, I think, is true fans.
And if you have enough people download something while it's free, it helps get it into the eyes and, you know, mind share of the people that are buying, that are on the list.
I mean, Johnny, here's an example. I don't remember if this was for season 3. I had this idea and Dave hated it so much, and I actually think that he might like it now a few months later, because he didn't hate it. He said that's either the smartest thing you've ever thought of or the stupidest. I'm not sure which. Can we not do it? Which is pretty funny. Okay, but here's the idea, and I would love to do this for Yesterday's Gone season 4, for example. Give it away to your list for free, like everyone on the list. I don't think of those as lost sales.
Wait, how is that different from what you normally do? You just said you give it away for free to your list.
No, like as it's new. So instead of charging them 99 cents, which I think is the most bullshit price. Like, I don't want to sell shit for 99 cents. I'd rather have it go out for free than 99 cents.
Make it KDP free. Not email it to the list, but make it KDP free the minute it comes out.
Yes, and then you email your list to drive that first burst. Then you're posting on that, and you're losing a couple $100 in sales, but I bet you make thousands on the back end because people are going to buy. I think the smartest way to make money on Yesterday's Gone 4 would be to make all of our episodes free. I think it's so much more powerful than 99 cents, and we have a back end.
How many days?
Probably just 2 the first time, and then you reserve the rest for when the full season's out.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, so
I would consider that.
I'm still confused as to how this is different. You're doing a promo. You're just saying you do it initially?
Yes.
Yeah. You would do that anyway,
the first day
right?
it's free. No, we haven't.
No, we never do that because Dave doesn't want to lose out on sales, which makes sense to me, but I think he's placing too much value on a 99-cent sale.
So for episode 1, not season 1.
As they come out.
Yes, this wouldn't be for a season. This would only work for new episodes. Like, okay, our perfect chance to test this actually wouldn't be Yesterday's Gone. It'd be Available Darkness. The only problem with it is that our numbers are so much smaller there. But I think that's even a bigger reason to try it. Because if we're selling,
Darkness will be free under everybody's chair, free.
Like if everybody got into Available Darkness, right? So let's say episode 7 comes out, which I think is February 4th or 5th. We have that.
I think, yeah.
The 5th. Okay, so if when it comes out, all the people who are waiting for it, a few hundred, who would buy it probably immediately, if those same people downloaded it for free on that same day, it would chart on the top 100 horror for sure. And then,
without question, I thought that was always the plan.
We've never done that before. It is how I think it should be done.
But you do it with the seasons.
No.
So you're saying you
make seasons free.
But you guys were just saying that's what you do is you give away.
I think here's the disconnect. What we're talking about is when this is brand new, fresh.
As it comes out, like when episode 7 comes out, it's free. When episode 8 comes out, it's free for 2 days. When episode
So it's
9
like
comes out,
that
it's free
day's
for 2
paper
days.
is free. You don't charge for it until it's old news.
So you wait to do your promos until normally right now
Until the full
Yes.
season is out, usually.
So what I think is the biggest benefit here isn't just pushing it. I think it works for dollars and cents, but I'm always thinking long term anyway. Like I'd rather think a year out than 3 months out. And long term, you're getting your best readers. We go out of our way to reward our most constant readers and never raise the price on them. I think we should take that further and reward our readers by not even charging them. They're like our early adopters. They're in our beta program.
I think my big fear on this wasn't that we were losing the amount of money on a 99-cent sale. I don't think that was my reservation. I think was actually that if we gave it away for free, there might be less buyers once it was made, and it would be harder to get on the paid lists. So we could try it out. I think that was my reservation, though. Not
Well, why don't we try it for Available Darkness, dude? Because awesome. That's my favorite podcast of the year.
When do you make a season free? Like, so if season 4 comes out tomorrow,
when we have other seasons to promote.
What? So, but when will you make season 4 free if it comes out tomorrow? Will you wait 6 months? Will you wait until season 5 is out?
I don't know. No, we'd wait, maybe 40, 50 days. I don't know. We'd want to get the season 4 sales. We don't want to lose all that.
Okay, so you aren't really... See, we are talking a little bit across purposes, because I'm trying to adapt this to mine, and basically we're talking about you are exchanging sales for free downloads. So, for instance, I have Fat Vampire 3. It's a week old. It's less than a week old. It's like 3 days old. In like equivalent situation for you guys, you would not make that free. You would try to get the sales.
No, it would be free. But we also have, it's different because we don't have, this would only work for you if you had Fat Vampire 4.
To what?
But you got to write Fat Vampire. So no, that you're arguing that you would wait to make it free until 4 was ready. You wouldn't release it when it was new.
I would.
You just said two conflicting things.
Yeah, I'm confused.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm confused. But
what should Johnny do?
Here's what happened. Here's what happened. The debate is: you have a list. You have loyal buyers. This is the core of the issue.
Yes.
List loyal buyers. Do you give them stuff for free? You give them basically everything for free and hope that they drive you up the chart so that other people find you, or do you have those readers who you know are going to buy, so you attempt to charge them? That's the core of the issue. So if I have Fat Vampire 3 out right now, you're saying it's new, I should try to get the sales on it. But earlier, you said you want to give stuff away right away because those are your loyal readers and you want to give them everything.
Yes, I would give them everything because but Johnny, you and I go back and forth on this all the time. You're always more interested in making a more immediate sale. I'm not, and I totally
No, I'm not. I'm trying to get clear on what your advice is.
So I would just say wait.
Just the list size.
How quickly can you get 4 out? Because honestly, what you should do is
fuck 4. You're arguing that I should make 2 free. I mean, I have 3. So what do I do with 3?
Well,
do I not make 3 free yet? I make 2 free. I make 1 free again.
You could make, if you make 3 right now. If you make 3 free right now, you're going to drive a lot of 1s and 2s, and I think that's great. So that kind of solves your problem there. That's how you use 3.
I'm still totally confused because you told me not to make 3 free, and then you said make 3 free now.
No. All right. Make 3 free immediately because you already have 1 and 2.
This is the most confusing show ever. Yes, I do, but a second ago you said not make it free.
Okay, I don't know why I would have said that, so I'm so sorry if I did. I think things should be free. If there's a reason it's not free,
okay, we're just gonna go home. Everybody. Okay, Sean.
Yes.
Reset. Okay. And this is a question for both of you guys. I have Fat Vampire 1, 2, and 3. I can do promos on all 3 or any one of those. I could do promos on 2. I could do promos on 1. I could do promos on all 3 of them. It doesn't matter. Fat Vampire 3 is brand new. Maybe 10 people have bought it so far. So what would you do in my shoes?
I would make that free immediately.
3.
And try 3. Try to push 1 and 2. Then it's a crapshoot between the other 2, but I'd probably just go backwards and do 2 next.
Okay,
and then 1.
So part 2 of this question then. When you guys make something free, it recycles every 90 days, and you normally split it into 2 anyway. So you do 2 in 3 days rather than doing a block of 5. So you're essentially getting a free promotion for any one given title. You're able to make one every 6 weeks.
Correct.
Do you hit your list again, even if you've already sent your list, say, hey, season 3 is available for free. When you make it free again, do you email them again?
No. In fact, we rarely even tell our list. We
have been lately because we've gotten people that complain, why did I have to come to Facebook to find out this is free? So I have been adding it to the emails. So some people don't know, or they feel like they've been cheated or whatever.
And that's like the worst. That just sucks when you try to do something nice and people are bitching at you.
Yeah,
that really annoys me because you feel like an asshole. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and every time Dave and I have tried, every single time, like we gave away a Kindle Fire.
Oh God.
Yeah, I remember this story.
And man, people were just so like angry that we weren't like opening it up to like New Zealand or
the whole world. Places you can't even buy the fucking thing,
dude. Like we're so sorry, but we're trying to be nice. Like it wasn't even like for us. It really was like a reader appreciation thing, but other readers did not feel appreciated.
Which goes back to my golden rule: why be nice to anybody? Because it's just going to bite you in the ass.
Okay, so you don't appreciate the readers when you make something free the second time under normal circumstances.
Yeah, I think you just and that just becomes a thing where.
But when you have new people added to the list, on a regular basis, it might be their first exposure to it. So why not? If you're sending out an email anyway.
People,
well, that's the magic word right there, David. If you're sending out an email anyway, then
which I don't do.
In a PS, but don't send an email just to do it, because then you're teaching people to not pay attention to you.
Yeah. Well, so that whole thing of using your list to drive you up the charts so other people see you does go away. Now, I imagine with something like Yesterday's Gone...
Yeah, but aren't you constantly producing new titles?
Not that constantly. I mean, it does take a little while to produce a new title.
See, and that's why it goes like Dave and I, if we actually adhered to what our business model is and followed it through to the end, it really is an unbelievably cool business model, because we are every week. So because we're every week, we have an excuse to send an email every week. Guess what? This is our new release. This is what's free. Here's what you could do to help us. Like, and we can have that.
I understand
same kind of
that model for other projects, but not for like Fat Vampire, Unicorn Western. I mean, and you're still saying that for any one title, you still aren't sending about it again. I mean, you're talking about new stuff. If I did that, if I had new content every week or every other week, then yeah, that'd be easy. Here you go. Here's another one. Here's another one.
But you could do it every 3 weeks. You're producing enough to put out an email every 3 weeks.
Right, but here's what I'm getting at. So if you make Yesterday's Gone Season 1 free, you've got like 350 reviews on that at this point. It ranks really, really well. I didn't even get to the Daily Deal thing because we're over an hour, but I should mention that. You were up to like number 20 or something on the
24? 26?
24, I think.
Insane. So I'll sing your praises on that.
We beat Stephen King for the second time in our careers. That was pretty awesome.
But that's insane. And they're going to be arrested for it later. Stephen King's lawyers will be in contact with him, the poor bastard.
We saw him walking down a main road. We just tagged him.
Hit him with the van. But what I'm saying is that book, you're saying that when you do a promo on that now, you're not emailing the list because you've already told your list. So that rises on its own. So the question is, if I have something like Fat Vampire 2, which has like 9 reviews, it's still very new. If I do a promo on that, it's almost like, why am I bothering to have the promo if I can't tell anybody about it?
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. I think that you use your list for all that early stuff. That's why you want to reward them. That's why you want to love them. You use your list to get you those early reviews, to get you those early free downloads, like that kind of stuff, because it's so much easier for us to get picked up by Pixel of Ink because of our triple-digit reviews.
But what I'm saying is that the first promo matters, the second promo, unless you already have a lot of cred, kind of doesn't matter.
Yes, I'd say that's an accurate statement.
Yeah,
I do think if you give away Fat Vampire 3 right now, you might piss off the people that did buy it.
Well, but I don't know what I can do about that. I hate to sound like this, but I didn't tell anyone. I didn't broadcast to the list and say it's available. I just put it up, so they bought it, and I'm very thankful for it. I don't know why I got to bend over backward.
You don't.
Yeah.
And Dave's wrong about that. You have to be okay with that, because otherwise you're organizing. And we've had those conversations a lot where he's afraid of returns or, that kind of thing. And you can't do that, because then you're operating out of fear, and you have to operate out of this is what's best. And this is what's best for the majority anyway. You're going to make a lot of people happy by putting it out for free, and it's going to get the attention you want.
I agree.
You want 30, 50, 60, 70 reviews on it so that Pixel of Ink will pick it up. Like, you don't have to suck their dick. You just have to get a lot of reviews, and they know, because they don't have time to read everything, so they have to put their name behind other product that other people have vouched for.
That would be a good subject line. Open this email, I'll suck your dick.
I bet the open rate on that is sky high. Well, at least among half the population.
All right. Well, we're way over, so we'd better bring it to a close. Maybe we can continue this discussion on Better Off Undead.
Do we want to tease next week's guest?
Oh yeah, if that's a for sure.
I think it's a for sure. She answered the email, but I don't know. Do you? Well, we'll wait. We have a cool surprise guest next week, I think.
Yeah, it's something we've been wanting to talk about. So. All right. Well, so that's like not even a good tease. That's just a douchebag tease.
Dave's frozen.
With that said, yeah, he is. He got pissed off and left. It's that dial-up. It's that non-cell phone.
It's better than the darkening, though. That's
the darkening, a Dave Wright memoir. All right. So with that said, I guess I'll make. You know what? By the time this is out, my free promo will be over. So fuck it. Sorry. For Fat Vampire 3. But I guess that's it, and we'll see everybody on the next one.